So let's do our yoga. We're going to start at the top of the mat this morning in a squat pose. So I recommend, if you don't have blocks, because Katie, I don't know if you traveled with any blocks, grab some pillows or a towel or something. Okay, so when you take squat, turn your feet out, take your feet super wide, turn your toes out, your heels in a little, and then lower down. And if you feel tight this morning, definitely slide something underneath, 1, 2 blocks, a towel, a pillow, anything, something a little bit more firm is going to be a little easier, but you'll make do. So use the back of your tricep, okay, to press against the instep of the thigh. So you get this little external rotation. Let the shoulders slide down the back. And you want to find length. Okay, so it's not about depth in this pose, it's about length. So lengthen the tailbone, lengthen the spine, maybe close your eyes for a moment. I like to turn my fingers out a little, kind of offer it up, and just connect to your breaths. Kind of a dreary day here in New Jersey. We're going to create a little life and light on this mat here this morning. Just take a couple really big breaths. And when you exhale out, you can exhale out through your mouth this morning. Run some really good energy through your body and try and quiet your mind and your thoughts the best that you can. We're going to just move through this practice. Nothing too crazy today. Just enjoying the movement and the shapes. Starting in squat, Dara. The top of the mat. Yeah, really feel your feet on the floor, feel the rotation of your thighs moving away. Three more breaths wherever you are. Good. Remove any objects out from underneath if you're on a block, okay? And then just creep your feet, and we'll just find a little bear squat. Your forearms resting on the tops of the thighs. You know, this is a great alternative, the bear squat, to like chair with a twist, if your back is ever sensitive, because you're just working on engagement. You're keeping your chest open, your forearms just resting on the top of the thighs, the weights in the heels. Now you're creating a little C curve in your spine. This is pretty natural for most of us, a little up dog happening. So keep the legs like they are, if you can. Take your hands and press into your thighs. So keep your legs really engaged and just kind of straighten your arms, legs stay engaged, and just round in a little. And then sink down a little lower and drop down and see if you can just get a little deeper. Good, try that one more time. Press into your thighs, keep your thighs low. Small movement, round in. Sink a little lower, drop the forearms, take a little up dog. Shoot up to stand up, drag it to prayer, drop your arms. With your feet hips width distance this morning, okay? Arms slide straight up towards the sky. Dive very slow over bent knees, let your head go. Come to the fingertips, long spine. Now, if the hands don't make it to the ground, don't force it. Hands can rest on your shins. Exhale, fold, let your head go. When you fold, grab the back of your calves and pull your body towards you. Good, root to rise, come all the way up. Move really slow here. Hands to prayer at heart, drop your arms. So on your breath, on your movement, together, arms go up. Dive over bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Long spine to prepare. Good. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up, anchor. Drag it to prayer, heart, drop your arms. Arms go up. Dive over bent knees, let your head go. Long spine to prepare, pause. Fingertips to the ground, just guide your left leg back. Just take a really big step. Drop the back knee on an angle. Yep, the thigh is down on an angle. You can always pad the knee with a towel or something here and just pause and breathe. Now, having the blocks nearby or something to elevate is always an option. So know that you want to just keep everything very aligned. I'd rather you be lifted than dumping down and feel too much in the wrong places. Just be here for a few breaths. Back thigh on an angle. The toes can be uncurled or curled, you pick. Good. So you're gonna straighten your right leg on track and kind of crawl the hands back and flex the foot. So it looks like this. It's kind of like a runner's lunge. So then you're gonna crawl the hands forward, rebend the legs, and get a little heavier and kind of open up the chest. So try it again. You're gonna crawl back, and if you need to move the blocks with you, that's an option. Flex the foot, breathe, and then crawl, rebend, slide forward, and get a little heavier. One more time, crawl the hands back, just finding some basic movement. Flex the foot, rebend, and pause here. Good. Activate your back leg. So now you're in this low lunge, and then just spring to hips width distance top mat. Long spine to prepare. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag it to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. Arms go straight up. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Long spine sets you up. Take a big step back with your right leg. Do it slow and just be very efficient. Drop the back knee on an angle. Pause. Just pause here for a sec and feel. So before we move on, just kind of establish the back thigh and just feel your way through. Make sure your knee and your ankle are aligned. You can always utilize your blocks if you need them. Good. And then you're going to walk your hands back like crawl, flex, and your spine's a little rounded here. And you're going to crawl forward and rebend and kind of create a little up dog here and get a little heavier. You're going to crawl back, breathe into the hamstring. Good. You're going to crawl forward and rebend. So this is just joint mobility and working on some basic flexibility. Walk it back one more time. Flex. Good. Rebend and pause. Activate your back right leg. You're in a low lunge. Hands come down flat if you can. Step to a dog. In this first down dog, pedal out your feet, walk in place a bunch of times, shimmy your hips, and then find your alignment for your dog this morning. Take up a lot of space on your mat. Yeah, see how you're all doing here. Great. So maybe your knees need to be bent. Totally fine. Yeah. Spread your toes wide. The back side of the body is getting a great opening. Feel your outer triceps grip in. Plug the thumb, the index finger, the baby finger down into the mat. Let the neck go. Fix your eyes on one spot if you can. If you feel like you're a little all over the place, it's okay. Just go with it. Sometimes those are the days I have the best practices where I feel like I'm all over the place. Right. It's okay. Roll forward plank. Lead with your heart. Yep. Lead with your heart and chest. Plank position. Stack up your body. You're in one solid line of energy. So let's just do some basic movement here. Take your right knee and hug it in towards your chest. Slide the right leg back to a plank. Hug your left knee in, squeeze in and up. Step it back. So go like this, right knee, arms are straight up and down, right leg back. Do it slow enough that you're not moving and wavering. Left knee, like little mountain climbers, and left leg back. So one more time each side, nothing too crazy. Extend it back, left knee in, left leg back, plank, hips up and back dog. Let your head go. Good. Roll forward like a wave. Drop your knees down so they're on an angle for me. Halfway to a push-up if you're taking them. Re-straighten your arms to a plank position. The support is good for a lot of us. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. Look to the top of the mat. Step, step. If you feel like you could float, that's great. Long spine weight is forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag it to prayer at heart, drop your arms. We're just do basics on A's. Arms go straight up. Dive over bent knees, let your head go. Long spine to prepare. Step, step, or float through your first variation of your vinyasa. The up dog is optional. You can always take a cobra, baby cobra. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Spread the toes, breathe the back side of the body open. Arms stay nice and straight. Look where you want to go. Step or float, top of mat. Long spine, weight is forward, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Hands to prayer at heart, drop your arms. So just like this, arms go straight up towards the sky. Dive in half over bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Long spine sets you up. Step, step, float through a variation that works. If you're hopping back, you always hop to a little push up. Adding or subtracting what feels good, up dog or cobra. So some of us take that all out. Hips up and back, downward facing. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Look where you want to go. Step or float to the top of the mat. Get there light. Long spine, weight is forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag it to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. One more of these. Arms go straight up towards the sky. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Long spine to prepare. Step or float through a vinyasa. The up dog is smooth. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Good. Come forward to plank. Drop down onto your hands and knees for a tabletop position. You're going to need to like walk in a little closer. I personally like curling my toes into the mat. Extend the right leg back for a three-legged tabletop and just pause here. Extend the left arm forward. So it's opposite arm and opposite leg, and you definitely have to fix your eyes to one spot so you don't fall over. Yeah. Reach back with your left arm, kick your right leg up and back and see if you can get hold of your ankle foot. So if this is kind of not happening today, just create the shape and don't worry about, gathering it so much. Steer the chest forward and breathe. Release the arm and the leg in opposite directions. Keep the lift of everything. Keep the lift of the right leg. Left hand comes down. Hug your right knee in and up. Scoop up the belly here. Slide your right foot forward. Integrate your back leg. So now lift the knee up off the ground. Root to rise to a high lunge. Yeah. Steer the hip points forward. You can always modify, guys, if your back knee needs to drop this morning for some reason. The arms can go up at any angle. The hands can always be at prayer if something's going on with the shoulders. Just find balance and breath right here and maintain. 2 more breaths. Fix your eyes. Hands come down to frame your front foot. Extend your right leg up and back, 3-legged down dog. Yeah. Come forward, hug the right knee in and up, step the right foot forward and through, turn the back foot on a strong angle, rise warrior one. Pick the distance for your warrior one this morning. Tip the torso forward a little if the lower back feels sensitive. This is a great way to take it. Feel the outer blade of your back foot kind of really firm into the mat. Your right hip grips in. Fix your eyes, soften your neck. Hands to frame your front foot. Move yourself through a vinyasa here. Up dog and cobra are great options. Pick one. Hips up and back, down dog. From this downward facing dog, just come forward, plank, drop down to a tabletop. Kind of have to creep it in a little. Yeah. Extend the left leg back now, and then extend your right arm forward. So it's left leg back, right arm forward. Yep. If you screwed it up, just do the other side. Bend it to your knee crease, reach back so you can get hold of your ankle. Kick up and back. So the movement doesn't have to be big. They can be small movements. Steer the chest forward, find your balance. It's not about how deep you're going, how far you're going. It's the fact that you're here and that you're doing it. Release the arm and the leg in opposite directions. Keep everything really lifted. Right hand comes down, left leg stays lifted. Hug the left knee in. Just a small movement here. Step the left foot all the way forward. Integrate that back leg. So now the kneecap lifts. You're in this low lunge. Get your stance and rise high lunge. Hip points move forward. Yeah. Find your breath. Energetically feel the ground. And then everything from there kind of lifts you up. The neck is neutral. Sit a little deeper into that front thigh. Activate that back leg a little bit more. Hands to frame your front foot. Feed your left leg back and through for a 3-legged down dog. Make this feel good. Hug the hips in even. Come forward, hug your left knee in and up, squeeze. Step the left foot forward, turn the back foot strong. Anchor and rise on your breath. Find your distance, warrior one. Back foot on a strong angle. Right ribs have enough room to spin forward. Left hip grips in. And you can always tip forward a little with that spine if you feel too much in that lower lumbar. Breathe. Another big breath in. Hands to frame your front foot. Vinyasa, or take it out and just go to dog and hold and breathe for a few extra breaths. Always a good option. If you're not into all the push-ups, yeah, just don't do them. Come to dog, hold. Good. Arms stay nice and straight. Look where you want to go. Step or float top of mat. Long spine weight is forward. Exhale, fold. Sit into chair. Weight moves into your heels. You could take chair with your feet hips width distance. Yeah. Shoot up to stand up. Drag it to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. Here we go. Arms go straight up towards the sky. Sit heavy in your heels for chair. Everyone looks thrilled. Dive over, bent knees forward, fold, let your head go. Long spine to prepare. Step, step, float through vinyasa or right to a dog and just hold for an extra breath. If you're going through the up dog, press even through hands and feet. Hips up and back, down dog is where we meet. The right foot lands, the back foot turns. Now we're just moving. Rise, warrior one. Everyone moves a little different. Hands back down through a vinyasa or to a dog and hold. The left foot lands on your breath. Rise. Oh, that's a better angle, Reg. I can really now see you. Perfect, yeah. Hands back down through a vinyasa. Upward facing pulls you through. Hips up and back, down dog. Good, look where you want to go. We'll do another. Step or float, top of mat. Long spine weight is forward. Fold into yourself. Sit heavy in your heels, chair. Feel the weight in your heels and use that energy to shoot up to stand up. Drag it to prayer, drop your arms. From the top, here we go. Arms go straight up, heavy in your heels, chair. Dive over, bent knees forward, fold, let your head go. Long spine to prepare. Step or float, vinyasa of choice. These look great. When you get to your down dog, step your right foot forward, turn your back foot strong, rise, warrior one. Make sure you have hips width distance between your 2 feet. Yes. Hands come down to frame your front foot, vinyasa. From your downward facing dog, land your left foot forward, turn your back foot strong, rise. Back down we go when you're ready through a vinyasa. So if I'm moving a little quicker and you're feeling a little slower, there's no pressure. You move the best that you can this morning. We meet here in a downward facing dog. 2 breaths. Look where you want to go. Step or float top of mat. Get there light. Long spine. Fold. Heavy in your heels, chair. Shoot up to stand up. Drag it to prayer, drop your arms. So one more full B. Let's do it together. Arms go straight up, heavy in your heels for chair. Stick your butt back. Dive over, bent knees forward, fold, let your head go. Long spine to prepare, step, step, float through a vinyasa. So you can add or subtract push-ups. You can just go to a plank, take a breath. You can always go to a down dog from there. Right foot lands, back foot turns. Make it your own. Rise on your breath, warrior one. Hands come back down through a vinyasa. The left foot lands, just keeping your momentum, your tempo. Rise. Back down we go through your vinyasa, or simply just go to down dog, take an extra breath or two. And it's good to sometimes just hold the dog and observe, like observe that your arms feel now nice and grounded. Observe that the back side of the body feels nice and strong and open. Keep your arms as straight as you can. Look where you want to go. Step or float top of mat. Long spine on the breath. Exhale, fold. Good. Heavy in your heels, chair. This time, make sure your feet are hips width distance. So if they're not, just separate them a little. We're taking chair twist here with our feet separated today. Hands come to prayer. Inhale the breath. You're going to hook and go to the right. So going to the right. So I demonstrated bear squat early in the practice. For some reason, you're not twisting. It doesn't feel good in your body. You have an injury. This is a great place to kind of hang out. Your arms resting on the tops of the thighs. Your heart nice and open, a little C curve in your low back. You're going to get a lot of strength through the lower half of the body. So don't get all caught up. Weight stays in your heels any way that you're taking this. And you're breathing. Couple more breaths. Good. Keep the legs really strong here in chair and pull around to chair pose. Weight in your heels. Keep your legs bent. Drop your arms alongside your body and clasp your hands behind your back. You're heavy in your legs. Okay. You're going to guide your left leg back, warrior one, with bound hands. So just, yes, your front leg was bent and you're just in this warrior one with bound hands. Great. It's just a different way to execute and get in. Just pause. Walk the right foot a little to the right if you feel like you don't quite have the stance that you would like. With the clasped hands, inhale, lift the heart and chest. Exhale, now we come to humble warrior. So humble warrior, stomach can rest on your thigh. You can get snuggly with yourself and snuggle your right shoulder to the instep of the leg. But what we don't want is open hips. We want everything squared off to the front edge of the mat. So you got to find something you know you can really hold and breathe through. The right hip grips in. The left foot is firm, and the entire left side of the body should be facing the front skinny edge of the mat. Let the neck and the head just go if you can, or keep it neutral. Stay with it. Anchor strong through your legs, everybody. Feel what you're doing. Try not to bypass. Start to lift your torso up. Lift the torso. You're heavy in that front thigh. You still have bound hands. Keeping your hands bound for just a few more breaths if possible. Straighten your right leg about 3/4 of the way. Steer the left ribs forward. Anchor the left leg. Rebend into that front thigh. Try that again. Using your core and your obliques, lift and straighten, feel. Good. Rebend and sit a little deeper. Straighten the right leg this time, pause, let go of your hands, slide them to your hips. You may need to step your left foot in an inch or two, right hand on hip, left arm extends up. Come halfway down, we're gonna reach all the way out. We're gonna find twisting triangle early in the practice here. Use a block. Have your right hand on the flat part of your back. It's going to give you great information. Hug your right hip in and stack it open. If you're not twisting today, you can take this more like a Parsvo, just folding over your right leg and breathing here. Okay, either of those options work great. Yeah. So the idea here is to be in the hamstrings and create somewhat of a little twist if possible. The block height is very helpful. So if it's up on that high setting, that's perfect, Reg. You're really going to stay out of that shoulder, which is what we want. Feel like someone's got you by your hips. Now, look sideways, look up, and twist a little deeper. Try not to look back, Steph. You're doing great. Good. Fold over that right leg. If you're there, stay 2 more breaths. Just fold. Then come to your fingertips, long spine. Spring your left leg forward. So your feet are hips width distance, guys, roughly. Long spine on the inhale. Exhale, fold. Sit into chair. Weight moves into your heels. Good. Slide your hands to prayer. Inhale your breath. You're going to hook and twist, or stay upright and just work on an air twist, or bear squat. Lots of good options. Weight stays in your heels. Your 2 knees stay aligned. Good. Stay with that. As long as you're breathing, Doesn't matter how deep you are here. So just breathe and maintain some shape of the pose. Good. Pull yourself around to chair. First, the arms go up. The legs are heavy. You're squatting down nice and low. Drop your arms alongside your body. If you can remember the clasp, go opposite, but good luck with that. So open up the shoulders and chest. You're in the chair. You're in the chair with the hands bound behind you. Your left leg is bent pretty strong. So you could just slide your right leg back and you're in this warrior one position with bound hands. Yes, you could lift the torso up for a second and just kind of find the way in so that way your stance feels just right for you today. So if you need to walk your left foot over, that's fine. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, fold. Now we go to humble. Stomach could rest on thigh. You can snuggle in there. The whole right side of the body needs to turn and the outer blade of your back right foot presses firm. I think that kind of rhymed a little. Grip your left hip in. And stay here. Using your breath, feeling your way through, anchoring that back foot, hugging that left hip in a little more. Good. Heavy in your legs. Start to lift your chest and your torso and pause. Keep the bound hands just for a few more breaths. Straighten the left leg about 3/4 of the way and feel your right side of your body turn a little bit more. Rebend into that front thigh. Yeah, straighten the left leg, begin to feel. Rebend into that thigh, use the back leg, keep the strength. Straighten the left leg, pause, let go of the clasped hand, slide your hands to your hips. You're probably gonna need to take your right foot in a little bit more. Yeah, left hand on hip, right arm extends up, a little bit of a shorter stance. Come halfway out, really reach, and then locate that block and set it up for twisting triangle or something that resembles that. The right hand on that block, the left hand on the flat part of your back, looking sideways, looking up, feeling like someone's got you by your hips and they're pulling you to the back edge of the mat as you twist open. Yes, nice work. Settling in here, a few more breaths. Hugging your outer hips in, scissoring your inner thighs, pressing firm through your feet and your legs. Twist a little deeper. Good. Exhale the breath, fold, and just pause here. Just fold over that left leg. Breathe your left hip up and back. Melt your torso over the front thigh. Hands come directly down. This time, just step to a dog. Good. If you feel like clearing it out through a vinyasa, please go for that. If not, down dog. Pivot your heels to the right and toes to the left. Lean on your right hand for a staggered side plank. So it looks like this. If something's going on, you can always drop your right knee and modify. I'm demonstrating it here. This is a great way to take it. Staggering the feet. So ideally, side plank's all about finding a side plank that you can actually manage and maintain. Right. Sometimes going too big sets us back. Stack it up. Top arm can reach up and forward. That's going to work into the obliques a little bit more. Down dog, right to down dog. Yep. Then your heels go to the left and your toes go to the right. Yeah, so they kind of like slide past each other and then you can lean and go the opposite direction. If you need to modify, drop that knee down. Yeah, find something you know you can hold here. Yeah, any variation, that's great. Lift a little higher. The transition out is slow, hands to the floor, plank this time. Halfway to a push-up if you got that in your practice. Up dog or cobra. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Awesome job. Look where you want to go. Step or float top of mat. Long spine, weight is forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag your hands to heart and stand. So separate your feet a little bit, just a tiny bit here, just like, I don't know, a couple inches. Stand on your right leg and you're gonna catch your left leg in and up. So it's gonna look like this. So this is why I suggested having a little towel or a strap if you can't get hold of your ankle. Think of like a golf or tennis grip. So you're kind of trying to get both hands around that ankle. Soften behind the right knee a little bit here. So the shoulder blades are drawing down the back. I'm actually going to grab a strap today. Just give me 1 sec. Good. So you want to gather those shoulder blades. I should have had this here to begin with so I could show you. And just stand upright. Right. So it's like, it's much easier when you do it this way because you've something to hold on to. And then I'm really working on the back bend part, which is the shoulders opening. So you're going to start to kick into your hand, your strap. But today it's not about depth. So I just want you to kick a little bit and keep the whole body relatively squared off. And flexing the foot's going to definitely activate the thigh. And I feel more through the shoulder blades when I do it that way. Grip the right hip in. 3 more breaths here, wherever you are. And if your balance is crummy, just, keep restarting. So if you have the strap or a towel, just let it go and straighten the legs so you're in warrior 3. Right. So now the strap, like I'm all twisted up with it, but it's fine. So you're in a warrior 3 and you're just balancing. Your eyes will go to the floor slow. And from here, we'll work to half moon, Ardha Chandrasana, using your block and peeling open. And if you fall out, it's okay. You just try it again. Grip the right hip in, keep the right foot forward. Yeah. And if you need to reset, you reset. And then find this pose, however it suits you best today. If you want to bind, you're welcome to bind. You're welcome to just stay really basic. You could stay basic. Turn the bottom ribs, look sideways, look up. We're staying a little longer. So if you feel a little wobbly, a little shaky, you're definitely firing up that right hip, that right glute. The right foot has to stay forward. Breathe. If you took a bind, release the leg, release the arm. Transition today, slow and smooth to triangle pose. You're going to take a giant step back and land really slowly, triangle, Trikonasana. If it didn't work out, you can reset. Always have the opportunity to reset. Right hand on anywhere on that front of that right shin, utilizing a block if you need to. Left arm spreads up, look sideways, look up. And find this. Hook the outer hips in. Activate that left leg, soften the shoulders down the back, and breathe. Two more. Good. Hands to frame your front foot. Let your left heel just pop up and let's step right back to the top of the mat. Long spine on the inhale, fold into yourself, let it go. Before we come up, you can kind of grab behind your heels like this. You can kind of grab opposite elbows and pull down. Just find something where you're in a little bit of a fold. You can just have a loose fold where the hands are kind of tented, your torso's draping. But breathe your hips way up off your heels and tip a little bit more weight forward so you can slide down. Good. Come to the fingertips, long spine, hand slide to your hips, come halfway up, soften behind your knees, and then come the rest of the way up. Stand up nice and tall. So when you enter half moon from that pose, it's very, very challenging for the hip. So just move extra slow so we can see if we can accomplish it today. Feet are a little bit separated here. Okay, if you're going to use your strap, that's great. If not, catch your right leg in, grab around the ankle, the foot, anywhere you can. the idea is to really gather those shoulder blades together, stand up really tall. Always soften behind that standing leg. It's going to give you a little bit more support. And then fire up and start to kick. And remind yourself, it's not like a dancing Shiva version. It's not standing bow. You're really just working on keeping the body really even and feeling through the back side of your body, feeling that thigh, feeling the shoulder blades squeezing together, feeling your outer left hip gripping in. Breathe right here. So wherever you are, the release is really slow into warrior 3. Straighten the leg, arms open. There's a squeezing of the shoulders. The neck is neutral. You can always use the blocks to help you with your balance if it feels off. Eyes fixed for the floor, and you slowly transfer into that half moon. Nice and easy. Stack it open, finding the appropriate height for the block, the appropriate distance from that left foot. Yeah, side body long. Adding in that bind candlestick if it feels good in your body today. The kick always goes behind you. The shoulder slides down the back. Yeah. Good. Couple more breaths. Release the leg, release the arm, find regular Ardha first. Transition slow, really seamless step back, triangle. Nice and easy. Pull up anywhere in the front of the shin and stack it open. From your hip to your armpit, a lot of space. And you almost want to feel like you're leaning back a little bit, but you're never going into your low back. There's a strong anchor of your right leg. Crown of the head is moving forward. These look solid, really nice. Feel like you're pulling the skin or the pant legging up your leg. So this time you're going to let your top arm pull you up to a standing position and slide your hands to your hips. Turn your left toes in and then just changing directions here. So you're just going to change directions. The right foot's going to turn out to the back edge of the mat. You're going to reopen up your arms. You're going to track down and find warrior 2. So you're going to find that warrior 2. Yeah, wrap your inner thigh open. Perfect. So you're just finding warrior 2, spreading the torso nice and wide, wrapping that inner right thigh open. Yeah. Couple more breaths, guys. Sit a little heavier. Yeah. Flip the palm reverse. Just find a reverse warrior. And then you're going to come through here. Just rest your arm on the top of your thigh today. Slide the top arm up or up and over. Soften the shoulder down the back. I like the palm, the arm that's resting on the thigh, the palm facing up. Good. And then today you can wrap your left hand behind your back and take a little half bind. Yeah, but I want you modified today, and I want your right arm really light on your thigh. Grip the right hip in, turn the bottom ribs, anchor that back leg, and twist open this way. And if you need a little more, like you don't feel enough, I mean, God bless you, use your elbow to kind of encourage the thigh to open. Do it that way. Your arm isn't really resting on the thigh at all. Keep turning and breathing. Stay with it. Unravel warrior 2. Pull up out of it, warrior 2. Straighten the legs, slide the hands to your hips, turn the toes in, and from your left hip, turn the left toes out. So now you're all facing the front edge of the mat. I'm facing the other direction, but don't worry about me. Spread the arms nice and wide and drop down, warrior two, left side. You got it. For some reason, you got backwards. Don't worry, just do the side you didn't do. That's the beauty of this stuff. And then settle in here. We're just holding 5 breaths. Maybe close your eyes, wrap your inner thigh open. Let the shoulders slide down the back. Good. Flip the palm, reverse the warrior. Let the side body get a little opening. Come back through warrior two. Rest your forearm on your thigh. Reach the top arm straight up or up and over. Soften the shoulder a little bit. Grip the bottom hip in. And you could stay with this, or you can slide your hand behind your back for a half bind. But keeping your arm resting on the top of the thigh, or using and encouraging the elbow to kind of press the thigh open. Turn the ribs, grip the bottom hip in, and settle in here. Make sure you're not clenching. Spread the toes wide, hook the left hip in, lean back a little bit and get in there a little bit deeper. Stay with it. Unwind, warrior two. Take it to the floor through a vinyasa of choice. The up dog pulls you through. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Good. Step your right foot forward, crescent lunge. There we go. Wrap your left arm underneath your right arm, and then wrap your left thigh around your right thigh at the top of the mat. Step up into eagle. Yeah, you can always use your big toe to kind of help you with your balance. It's more important to have the hips even than have the foot kind of cranked around the calf. Yeah, rather than yanking the elbows down this morning, really lift the elbows up so we can continue the concept of like opening up through the shoulder blades and creating a nice little back bend class here. The weight's in that standing heel. Squeeze down the center line of your body. Keep the legs really tight, just unravel the arms. So the arms go up like you're in a chair. And then unwind yourself and step back to crescent. You have to kind of guide that foot back. Yeah, proprioception. As you arrive back in your crescent lunge, reestablish your stance. Make sure you feel stable. Drag the hands to prayer. Inhale the breath, lean out, hook and twist. So if you're not twisting today, you can just hover and hold. Drop the bottom knee if you need a little bit of support. Yeah. Grip the bottom hip in and turn. Long spine, activate that back leg. You want to feel like you're going to bounce off. Yeah. Couple more breaths. Good. Hands to frame your front foot. Step through a vinyasa. Good. Up dog is smooth. Hips up and back, down dog. Step the left foot forward, crescent lunge. Rise on your breath. So feel this first. Wrap the right arm underneath the left. If you're bound up, that doesn't work. You can always go opposite shoulders. And then step up, guide your right leg around for eagle. Once again, you don't have to worry about this right foot. It can kind of dangle in space. You could use it as a little toe stand. It's more important to be heavy in that standing leg, weight in your heel. Squeeze. Weight in that standing heel, sit a little deeper. Squeeze the legs super tight, just unravel your arms like you're in a chair. Unravel your right leg and guide it back, crescent lunge. Nice big stance. Reestablish your alignment, drag the hands to prayer, lean out, hook the elbow and twist. Back leg strong and straight, or you can drop down. Grip the bottom hip in, twist open. Nice work. You want to feel like the crown of your head is going to line up with your back heel. So it's almost this little sensation that you're leaning back. So you could really take the round out of the spine. Give it a little bit more breath, a tiny bit more energy. Make the most of this. Hands to frame your front foot. Slide back to plank. Yeah. In plank, drop down to your forearms for forearm plank. Yeah, do it slow. You can always drop your knees for forearm plank, but the goal is to have a straight line of energy. So yeah, if you got something going on, you could always take it with your knees down and your legs up and just work on a straight line of energy this way. Like there's still plenty happening. Right. Rather than being in a really sad plank position. So find something that works that you know you can hold for a bunch of breaths. The idea is to really activate the core. Keep the neck nice and neutral. Bring a little bit more weight forward. Yeah. So keep your forms the way they are. Just start to walk your feet in and your hips up. So now you're going to a dolphin pose. Yeah. Walk your feet in, so tighten it up. And then if you want to play around, you're welcome to. One leg can lift. You can just think about lifting the leg and not actually do it. Right. And then you can lower that leg down. And when you lift the leg, try and lift from the inner thigh. So it's not like a swinging, it's a lifting. That's it. Nice, Dara. That leg went way up there. And then lower it down when you had enough of that. And then hold for a few more breaths if you can. Hug the outer triceps in, make sure the head isn't resting on the ground. And then drop down to your knees and take a relaxed child's pose. So your arms reach back and they slide to the base of your feet. The forehead hits the ground. And it's really nice to grab those feet because you can really let your shoulders relax, your arms relax. Staying connected to the practice. Slide the arms out, lift up, down dog. Breathe your right leg up and back, three-legged down dog. Come forward and hug your right knee in and up, scoop up the belly. Extend the right leg up and back, active here. Come forward and squeeze it in a little tighter, arms stay straight. Extend the right leg up and back one more time. Hug it in, squeeze the core, land the right shin down, and let's find a half pigeon here. Good. For some reason this isn't working for you, you can always go onto your back and take more of a ankle to knee. If you can let your whole body kind of drop, that's great. The forehead can rest to the floor. I've been finding my forehead feels a little nicer on this block. I get a little bit of support. And let yourself go. So the mind starts to activate sometimes when you hold these poses. You know, you have the opportunity to start to drift someplace else. You can drift, you can stay here. Just be present for yourself and breathe. Breathe into that right hip, that glute, that piriformis. Good, let your torso come up. We're gonna lean on that right side, swing the left leg around. We'll take sail today. Right hand behind you, you're gonna lift up out of your waist. Spread the left arm up and back. If you can ground your left foot, that's great. If that's not in the deal today, that's fine. Plug that right hand down. Lift a little higher. Exhale, lower the seat. When you hit the ground, your right shin's gonna come forward, your left leg's gonna stack on top for double pigeon this morning. Yeah. Two shins line up. For some reason, this isn't in your routine. You can just crisscross at the ankles and take it more like a Sukhasana. So slide your seat back and flex your feet. So that's another alternative. I'll show you. So it can be like this, which is like a strong box. Okay, or you're stacking it up. This is obviously going to be a lot more intense. Yeah. And then breathe. And if there's a huge space, like mine has a huge space right now because I'm tight, that's okay. Just stay upright or start to fold forward. It's one of those poses, the longer you stay in, the more you get into it. So close your eyes and just allow yourself to drift. Strong external rotation. Good, to get out of it this morning, just kind of unravel, slide the leg back, step to a dog. When you get to dog, breathe your left leg up and back, three-legged down dog. Come forward and hug your left knee, squeeze the navel in, arms active. Extend the left leg up and back, three-legged down dog. Actively hug the knee in. One more, extend the leg up and back, create that space. Hug the left knee in and up, squeeze in. Land the left knee forward, half pigeon and melt. This side could feel totally different, so use that block to drop your forehead down. And breathe. Fold a little deeper. Good, start to lift the torso up, nice and slow. Lean on the left side, swing the right leg around. The left hand comes behind you for sail. It's a back bend, you're gonna lift up and back. If you can get your right foot flat, that's great. If you can't, you just keep the foot flexed. You really wanna ground the left shoulder blade and press down with that left knee as you lift up out of your waist. Great, exhale the breath, start to lower slow. When you hit the ground, you're gonna cross your right shin over your left. Oh my God, this side is bad news. Yeah, lift your hips. and then set up for ankle to knee. So the idea is to have your ankle, your foot hanging over the edge of that thigh, at the edge of that knee here. You could always just crisscross the feet and the shins. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, you fold a little, or you just stay really upright. So you may find that there's a big space between your thigh and your foot. That's totally fine. As you hold the pose, it starts to lessen a little. Keep flexing the feet. It's going to help open up the hips a little more. Good. 2 more breaths. Pull your torso up, unravel your feet, set them up hips width distance, flip the palms to face towards you. Inhale the breath. On the exhale breath, you're going to lift straight up, lengthen the tailbone for reverse tabletop. Exhale the breath, lower down for boat Navasana, lift up. Take Navasana with bent knees. Keep your feet on the floor if your back is sensitive. Lift the heart, lift the chest. So we're going to go like this 5 times. The feet come down, the hands go back down. You're going to lift up. This is number 2. Reverse tabletop. Lower the seat, Navasana boat, lift the chest. Feet anchor, hands press, lift up, reverse tabletop, broaden and lift. Exhale, lower, Navasana boat. Yep, if you can straighten your legs, great. If you can, it's more about really keeping the abdominal wall engaged. Feet come down, lift up, reverse tabletop. Each one gets a little bolder, like you feel a little less compressed, hopefully. Exhale, lower down, lift up, Navasana. This is number 4. We got one more cycle of these. The feet come down, the hands ground, lift up, last reverse tabletop, lift up. Exhale, lower down, final Navasana, lift up. Good. Lowered on Ardha Navasana, you're going to hold and hover. The neck can stay lifted or you can drop it down. The closer you are to the floor, the more intense it is. The higher you lift the legs, the less you're going to go into your low back. Feel your lower back spread across the mat, holding here. Exhale the breath, let it go. Hug the knees in towards the chest, give them a big squeeze. Keep the right leg in, extend the left leg out, and let's take the right leg over to the left for a supine twist. Good. Come back to center, relax the right leg out, hug the left knee in, give it a good squeeze. Take it over to the right, supine twist. Come up to center, hug both knees in nice and even. Exhale the breath, find Shavasana, complete rest. If your back is sensitive, you can slide blocks underneath each thigh. Yeah, and that really helps with the opening of the hips. Let everything go right now. Complete rest. It's the best part. Take a big breath in. Exhale everything out. Start to come back, wiggle fingers, wiggle toes. Hug the knees in towards the chest, give them a big squeeze. And come up seated, finishing off the practice, however, honestly, it feels best for you. Sit up nice and tall, let the shoulders draw down the back, and just feel. Hopefully a little bit more grounded. Hands to prayer, bow your head. Always have some good gratitude after this practice. Lift the head, open the eyes. Namaste. Go out there. Have an awesome afternoon.